Why don't we go ahead and start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Like not just the Republicans.
Thank you. More chairs are coming. Okay, thank you. This is a very good sign. We did some arrangements on the chairs, and that's the reason why we wanted to do is get the seating, the rows a little bit closer to the front so everybody can see things. Not that I look better, but nevertheless. And this is a very good sign. We put up chairs for about 200. We estimated it could be about 170 people here today. Guys, we hit 200 already. Thanks for coming out and making this such a memorable event. And don't forget the photo op afterwards. But anyway, while we get the chairs put out, I just wanted to point out that I've been doing some more surveys going around to the grocery stores, and I'm going to lead off with a slide that's near and dear, not that I drink this stuff. So let's roll with the first one. This is the price of Budweiser beer. So what has Donald Trump done to break down prices? Because remember what he said on first day one, he's going to lower prices. Okay, Don, what have you done? Oh. So this is June 24, January 25. When did he come into office? January 25. That's the orange bar. Oh, so for Target, it went down by $2 for that one month. And then it's been flatlined ever since. So if you wonder why your prices haven't gone down, you're right, they haven't. What's going on with Walmart? Walmart's actually been going up a little bit, right? Now this is for a 24 pack. Right, so if it's $24 to buy a 24 pack, how much is that for a bottle of beer? $1. Right, so just remember, it's a bucket bottle, Don. Winn-Dixie. Well, Wynn's trying to help. Okay, they're at 24. And what do we got here with Publix? They've been going up and down, so look, okay, so they're helping out a little bit. But what I found interesting for all the different products, beer is the one product where the prices are virtually the same across the board. I don't know how they do it. Let's roll with the next one. What do we got here? Lettuce. Anybody here like salads? Yeah. Okay. Something goes along. Okay, so even taking a look at all 4 of the stores, there's a big jump in what month is that?
August.
Let's see. We got April. Okay, we got another same bar. What's going on?
20.
Exactly. This is when ICE was raiding the California agriculture fields. So you wonder why prices went up just ahead of us. Think of all the supermarkets, but also all of your restaurants. You go to order a salad. Their base cost for that product has gone up by 25% in 1 month. And one thing about prices, they have a tendency to be sticky. So in other words, you don't lower them. If you're the supplier, you don't lower them unless you have to. When I was involved with I won't tell you where I worked, but we used to call it because we can. So the reason why I mention all this, and why do we pick the June of 24? Well, what was going on in June of 24? There was an election going on, right? And we knew that, I'm an economist, right? So I'm kind of going, you know what, I think it might be the economy. So we started doing this, going around the 4 different stores and grabbing the prices of the same product, okay? And that's how we're coming up with this. So the June of 24 was not a random number, okay? And what else did we do in 24? Was there a little car rally?
Oh, yeah.
There was a little car rally for the first time in the village where we had like 500 golf cars, okay? And that was for Kamala Harris, all right? And it was like off the charts. Just to give you an idea, there's a lot of social media. I don't know much about that, but social media, we have over 25 million hits used. Okay. Why is that important? important because that puts you on the national stage. That's how we wound up with CNN, NBC, and a couple other major networks that came here to the villages to find out they have Democrats. Think of it this way. You got 3 golf carts coming towards you, right? 2 are red, 1 is blue. We want to connect you with those blue. Are you registered to vote? Are you doing the vote by mail? That's who we want to reach out to. Okay? Because that's what you bring to the table for the entire state of Florida. And that's how you get the blue governor. Okay?
Yes.
As well as the senator.
Yes.
So with that in mind, there's been an awful lot of work that went into, took place in 2024. And what we're doing now in 2025 is that we have done, has anybody seen any of the signs that have been around? Okay, you know, the roadside signs? Has anybody seen any of these? Okay. All right. This is part of the roadside sign rallies. We'll be talking about that in a bit, okay? But what we've been doing in 25 has been doing a lot of sign rallies, and we have definitely been gearing up for some golf cart rallies. Go to the next slide. There we go. See the sign on the back?
Yes.
They're coming.
Yay.
Yeah. See the decorations on them?
Yes.
We got them. Okay. And after this meeting, we're going to have a photo shoot, or pardon me, a photo in the back. So we want everybody who wants to come out and join us and hold the sign because we got the golf carts. They look so nice. They're all decorated. We've got some signs out there for a special guest that we're going to be having today. Okay. But I just want to let you know. So that was in 24, and what we're doing now is in 25. And as we look forward to 26. You wonder what that's going to be like. We're not sure we're going to be able to play it or not, but we're going to try.
Well, there was really no place that I could choose to officially kick off this 2026 campaign, except for right here with all of you. In 2024, with all of your help, we managed to achieve the largest Democratic swing in the entire state of Florida. And I'm asking for your help once more. I know that things can feel really hopeless right now. I know that the anger and anxiety that we all feel every time we turn on the TV, every time we go on the internet, on social media, and we wonder what's going to come next. I know how hard we all worked in 2024, and how hard we really worked to prevent what is happening right now. And it feels like it really didn't make a difference. But I want you all to know that you did make a difference. And you made a difference in 2024, and you will make a difference in 2026. Because in 2026, we will show everyone that it takes the villages to win back. And yes, we already have a t-shirt that says that. But this time we're not doing it alone. We have a team ready to work across the districts, to bring neighbors together, to listen to what they need from their leaders, and work to build a government that works for all of us equally and considers all Americans, not just the most powerful, not just the richest. Daniel Webster is so out of touch with the people of his district that to this day, he is still bragging about passing the bill, Big Ugly Bill. Although he knows his constituents are starting to realize the ramifications of the bill he's been celebrating for months. A bill that will raise health insurance premiums for 18.9% of the people in this district. 18.9%. That's how many people have ACA health insurance. 169,000 people in this district alone will see their premiums raise on average 114%. Thanks to his tax cut for billionaires. My family is one of them. We received $1,600 in the tax cuts and the premium tax credits every month because we're small business owners and we're about to see possibly ourselves priced out of health insurance for our family. That's not including the tens of thousands of people in this district who are going to lose their Medicaid coverage and their SNAP benefits. Our state legislators just put out a report this week in committee that shows that veterans, the homeless population in Florida, are no longer going to receive SNAP benefits here in the state of Florida. They no longer qualify. The only power that they hold over us is our fear. Because they know that with knowledge and courage, we're unstoppable.
That's right.
They know that in this district, where Republicans hold an 8-point advantage, having 19% of the residents have their health insurance premiums more than double is not good. They know that us building a campaign off the message that those in power are trying to divide us by left versus right, so that we don't recognize how they continue to divide us by top versus bottom. They don't want us to recognize that. They also know that we won't be an America that accepts or tolerates the chaos of Washington, of the authoritarian rule of Trump and the Republicans in Congress who are enabling him. However, we will not be distracted by the chaos of Washington. Instead, this campaign will be community focused, providing the personal, face-to-face attention that Dan Webster has failed to provide in his 15 years in Congress. I'm committing to being accessible to the people of the district. Once elected, there will be regularly scheduled town halls throughout the district and an easy process to request meetings and attendance at community events. We have people who are going to be looking for answers, suffering financially, and Republicans already pointing fingers and flat out lying. We have to be strong in how we respond. I don't expect people to vote for me because of a sad story that happened, because of my personal experience. I'm going to let people know that I want them to vote for me because I know what it's like to go to your representative and ask for help. And I will respond in kind to the people who come to me and ask for help, no matter what the issue is. And that is what we need, people who care. Not people who only care about those that are coming to them with a check, or lobbyists, or special interests, but the actual people who they were put there to serve. And that is what I'm looking to do. So I need your help.
You got it.
So we are officially launching on Tuesday, with the press across the state. This is the official campaign launch video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I did it all without a staff last time. That is not happening this time. We have a media team. We have actual general consultants that are working with us this time. And how you can help. First of all, we have candidate petitions that we're using to get qualified for the ballots. And I haven't talked to Bob about this yet, but right now they are editing the handbook in the state of Florida because they're redistricting. So I believe they're editing it to say in redistricting years they allow them from across the state of Florida. I'm currently taking them from anywhere in the state in case that does happen. So please sign one. I will take it even if you're not in District 11. And of course, donations. I cannot do it without money at all. These things all cost money. And again, with a video like this, we're hoping to get nationwide donors and give Dan Webster a run for his money. So we have a QR code and a link if you would like to donate. I really appreciate it. And the website will be up and running. As you saw on the last slide, we have rebranded, but we are letting everybody know this is a serious campaign and we will not be taken lightly. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
One question. Can we go to Act Blue? Are you on Act Blue? That is it. That's Act Blue. You can get there right from Google and find Barbie's name.
Thank you.
Act Blue.
Bringing that up. Good point. For the past couple of months, there's been a few sign rallies that have taken place, and the Village's Democratic Club has gotten involved with that. And I just want to point out that one person just came up all of a sudden she started doing it. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of behind the scenes that takes place as far as reaching out national, the sign rallies and things. So we have one that's coming up this coming Saturday, which is October 18th. And the time is 10 o'clock. Fantastic. And if you wonder where some of the real creative posters and things are coming from, it's Lorraine. Lorraine, why don't you come on up? So.
I'm short. Can you see me? Hi, again, my name is Lorraine Donnellan, and I am, as of a couple weeks ago, officially the chair of the Democratic Club of the Village's Rally Committee. I have months of experience doing this. Couple things. So you all know about the event. How many of you are planning to go? Yes. Yay! I'll tell you what. We really need to stand up now more than ever. I know you've been seeing the craziness that Mike Johnson and others are just coming out with. What's the next thing that's coming out? There are more than 2,200 rallies going to be held around the United States on October 18th. We want to get it. There were 5 million at the last No Kings big event in the spring. We would like to get more than 5 million this time. So we all need to do it. So here's what you can do. You can come. You can bring 3 of your friends with you. Another thing you can do is you can get a rally, get a caravan from your neighborhood. Because if you've got some people, don't put them down because there's a message behind all this. If people feel that they're not alone, because I don't know about you, do you know anybody who's afraid of what's happening right now? Are you still freaked out and afraid? Yeah, me too. So if there's courage in numbers. So if you can get a caravan of people from your neighborhood to go at the same time. They might say, you know, I'm not sure it's gonna go, but oh, my neighbors are going, I will go. Oh, I can be in a line with other people, that makes me feel safer, I will go. So try to do that. One quick thing about rallies, for those of you who haven't been there before, you know that this is becoming a kind of a big deal among the Republicans right now, and Fox News, and you see that they're talking a lot about this event on the 18th and how we're supposedly terrorists and we are not. We are neighbors, we are friends, we are Americans, we are patriots, you name it. We are brave.
Yes.
We are courageous. They'll drive by in their car and they'll hold up their very favorite finger at you. What do? You do not say anything to them. You do not yell at them. You do not gesture back. You are better than them. And if somebody comes up to you and it's in your face and is saying something to you, say, have a good day, and walk away. Do not engage them. That's exactly what they want you to do. And so just be really good about that. Okay. So one other thing. Two things. If you decide to make your own posters, I should mention, and Bill may mention, that he's coming with a whole bunch of posters for those of you who just can't or don't want to make your own. So there'll be some there. If you choose to make your own, we're going to have a little show and tell. What are good posters and what are not good posters? Okay, all right? This is a message. This is what there's so many messages, right? Pick one. So we are, this one I did because that's my grandson. And I saw somebody else have a sign like that. Now I will tell you, there's a benefit of this for amongst those of us who are in the rally, to see what one another is saying. There's courage and strength in that. Maybe somebody will see that as they drive down the road, right? Okay, this one has a message. This one has a message, right? Democracy needs your courage. Good. Now, does anybody have, okay, Wicked, come on out. You're driving down the road 35 miles an hour. Is that kind of cute? Hold it up. Kind of interesting. Is anybody going to read that? No, they can't. Where's the other ones? The other no one can't read. Here, this one. Okay. How about that one? Is that a good poster? Yeah. Can you read it? No. Okay. So it's big. It might make you feel good. It's not going to do much. Okay. So if you're going to make your own poster, and I highly encourage you to do so, make it nice and big. Get your message out. Whoops. It's easier said than done. One other thing. How many of you are old enough to remember Burma shave? All right, yeah, you're my people. Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know, what Burma shave was, it was a brushless shaving cream, and what they did, mostly in the Midwest, but all contiguous 48 states, from about 1926 to mid-1960s, and this again was before the interstate highway system, so we all were going down these little 2-lane roads and everything like that. Okay, so they put up a system where they had a series of signs, and each little red sign, about 100 feet apart, would have a different message on it. And I remember as a child loving that. What's the next message? What's the message? And they were usually something, about driving safety or about how a guy could get a gal if he didn't have a beard. Something like that. So we thought, how about if we tried something like that in addition to the main rally? So we have an example. I want you to all say it together. Imagine you're driving down in your car, and the first sign says, "Oh, say the Star-Spangled Banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave." What we're hoping is if we had those kinds of signs up along the road 100 feet, near where the sites are, or anywhere in the villages out in Morse or Street, that people might see it, and they might read it, and they might remember it, and they say, hey, I saw this down the road. So, think about that if you want to do that. Do you have to pass out the handouts? Okay, what we have is in your little lanyard thing, you have a small map, we have big maps. We're gonna pass out to you so that you can each take one, give to a friend. And what are we gonna do on October 18th? We're gonna show up at the rally, right?
Yes.
And one other thing, it starts at 10. I would encourage you, if you can get there earlier, get there earlier. Why? So we can get our spots that are our spots. We have 2 locations, and we did this because we wanted to provide an opportunity for everybody to participate. The first one is the one where they've always been. It's the North Rally, we're calling that, and it's Lake Sumter Landing. It's between Old Mill Run and Stillwater Trail. We hope it will spread way beyond that as it did last spring. That's number 1. Number 2, it's going to be down on Marsh Bend and Warm Springs. That intersection there's golf cart accessible, and it's near Everglades Rec Center. What you do is you bring your golf cart, you drive up near and face the road. There will be flags along the road. You stand behind the flags, so you're not going to be going into the street. Nobody goes into the street. And you wave and smile, you're very friendly, and you're standing up there strong. Your golf cart's been facing out. One other thing, we're going to have some people roaming around wearing pink vests. The pink vest people are our safety group. I'm calling safety group because why not? And so if anything bugs you or bothers you, or you need some help, you need water, whatever, look for somebody with a pink vest, and we will come help you. Any questions?
Beautiful, no. Great job.
Local police, like they get alerts to what are often for them to harass protesters. Like last time, someone had 8647 t-shirt, that person was harassed. What instructions have the local police been given?
Okay, all right, let me just repeat that for those of you who didn't hear it. The question was what are the interactions with the police, and what are they saying about how might they harass people? I'll refer to what you're talking about. I have personally spoken to the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. They helped us in the past time. They will be there to provide support for us and care to make sure that we are safe, that nothing's going to happen, and then they come and they monitor the streets and they go by. And the Wildwood police were down to the south event last time. The question was raised about being harassed. I know what you're referring to. The question was somebody had an 8647 on, and the police officer asked, well, what do you think about that? And I wasn't there for it, but he told me his version of it. Do you know what 86 means?
Yes.
Get rid of. Yeah. Does it mean kill, assassinate?
No.
Some people absolutely believe that's what it means. So that was what the reference was, is that somebody had complained to the Daily Sun about somebody who had a sign that said 8647 at one of our previous rallies and said, oh, they're out to kill the president. And I said, I'm sure this little old lady is not intending to do that, and I'm sure that was not the intent. The intent was to say, I disagree with the policies.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing any harm on any human being. So the issue became, sometimes if you say things like that, people take it, grab onto it, and they'll think that you're a terrible person. That's what that reference was. So I think we're okay. The police are, they've been, the sheriff, they're wrong. Coming to you.
Yes, can you make sure that the sprinklers are not, make sure the sprinklers are not.
How much power do you think I have over there? But actually, the sprinklers are in the center median. You shouldn't be there anyway. Yeah. You should not be there. It does come over. You know what you got? Where's that umbrella? See that umbrella? Proudly have your umbrella there, right? Okay. Any other questions? Way back. Hey, I didn't tell you.
Where am I going? Okay.
And we'd be on the Caroline side of Morse Boulevard.
Will I be on the Caroline side of Morse Boulevard?
It works.
Okay, tell me where that is, because I don't know where that is.
Well, the opposite side of the street.
Oh, yeah, okay,
So we
perfect.
can park our golf carts right there, and it's...
You can park your golf carts on the side once where the tunnel is. I don't know that there's room for you to drive your cart behind that, but you can walk over there, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, good.
So anywhere you can go that you're not crossing, jaywalking, of course, is unsafe and it's a crime, so don't do that. Any other questions?
Thanks very much. We're ready.
All right.
Hold on over here.
Okay.
Last question.
Can we park in the Aldi's parking lot?
You may not, thank you for asking that. If you drive a car, you may not park in any of the private lots like Aldi's or CVS, or Morgan Stanley, but you may park in like any of the other villages lots or on the streets, or, there you go. Thank you. See you all.
I just want to mention that Lorraine is like us. She's a volunteer that stepped up to take us on, and she's putting in a tremendous amount of hours of time. And what's really fabulous is that she's been able to grab a hold of neighbors and friends that it takes a village, it takes a team. Thank you. Very, very impressive. On the, there's about 13 members, 14 members of the Village's Democratic Club, and one of them, her name is Kathy Hoover. You may not have heard of Kathy, but Kathy's the one that's quietly in the background who's been doing a lot of work on the social media. And we invited her to talk about the social media, which she does here. And she also has a sister who is very, you get a, good things come in pairs, where her sister takes care of the bugs. So anybody here look at the bugs? Yeah. You appreciate the bugs?
Hey everybody. I just want to tell you there's another way you can protest also, and that's on social media. You might not think social media means very much because typically, I was late into the game and what have you, but what you can do is follow us on social media. So everybody's always telling you to put your phone away during a meeting. Well, take your phone out. Download the Blue Sky app, which is the blue butterfly. Okay, follow the Villages Democratic Club Florida. That's what it looks like, but you can probably get it just by doing Villages Dem. It'll probably pop up for you. And then we have also the Sumter County, Florida Democrats are also on Blue Sky. And then we have 2 Facebook groups, the Villages Democratic Club group. You must answer the questions to join, so please do that. And then we have the Sumter County Democratic Executive Committee is also on Facebook. What happens is people share things, so you're on your account, and then it grows and grows and grows exponentially. So please follow us on social media. It's just another way to be out there, be heard, be seen, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to go to our featured speaker at this point. His name is Matthew, and his last name, he goes by G. He's with the Florida's, I'll let him explain it. Anyway, it's the Democratic Progressive Caucus of Florida. So, Matt, come on up.
Gosh, thank you so much to the Villages for having me today. Before I begin, I'd like to thank my amazing team for being here today. Ethan, the president of the Lake County Young Democrats, is in the back. Jeannie, the president of the Marion County Progressive Caucus, is also here. Front row right here is Juan, who is the president of the Alachua County Young Democrats, and also the treasurer of the Alachua County Progressive Caucus as well. And of course, I'd like to thank the Villages Democratic Club for hosting me today. My name is Matthew Grocholske, and I'm a visionary. I'm an organizer, and what Ron DeSantis would call an ass. I currently serve as the president of the Democratic Progressive Caucus of Florida, and while the governor may call me an ass, I think I'm more so the president of the caucus that is his worst nightmare. I say that because our caucus shows up. You may have seen a kid get grabbed by the collar, kicked, tossed, and punched out of Ron DeSantis' so-called Freedom Forum. for demanding answers about the internment camps that he is building in places like the Everglades. And I hope you know, Ron DeSantis in that moment did say I was making an ass of myself. You may have seen someone yell at our unelected CFO, Blaise Ignolia, someone who unfortunately you all may know way too well, saying that he should go doge himself. That was me and members of my Congress. And you may have seen after the governor repainted the Pulse Memorial crosswalk to be black instead of its rainbow colors, someone not just chalk it, but paint the colors back. That was me and members of my caucus. That action was illegal. But I say, instead of us doing the vandalizing, the state did it in the first damn place. By vandalizing our Pulse crosswalk and crosswalks all over the state of Florida. The next day, after repainting the crosswalk, a Pulse survivor sent me paragraphs thanking me for the action that we took. And in that moment, I realized our movement is a community. And even if someone isn't in the community, they see it, and it inspires them. See, Democrats want inspiration right now. I know that because I know of a story of a kid who wasn't supposed to make it. That kid was raised by a father who was the nurse during COVID, and a mother who had to take care of her own mother and father. That kid was raised in a trailer park in Polk County, rural red Polk County. Going to school while shooting threats intensified as the years went by. That kid would skip out on spirit days because crowds of students terrified them after the parking shooting. That kid would stop going to school every Valentine's Day because of the parking shooting. That kid would hear the news about their classmate and friend murdered in their senior year, a victim of gun violence. And that kid would end up being unhoused, fighting book bans out of their car in the hot Florida summer. That kid would be harassed for being LGBT in the state of Florida. That kid was me. My lived experiences as someone who was unhoused, as a Gen Z Floridian, that made me inspired by people like Bernie Sanders and Andrew Gill. I saw firsthand the divide in our country. The fact that billionaires fought so hard to make the ones at the bottom, like my family, not have a path forward. They worked so hard to make us have to look under the couch for pennies for a bag of Doritos at the corner store, while they make thousands a minute. I saw the need for Medicare for all because my mother and my grandmother struggled to pay for healthcare costs. Diabetes runs, unfortunately, rampant in my family's history, and we had to spend so much money on insulin prices. I saw the need for a Green New Deal while Mosaic and big developers ravaged my community. After I moved out of that trailer park, across the street, there was a swamp, and that was bowled out after I moved out for unattainable housing, housing that I could never afford. I saw the need for an end to endless wars while seeing videos abroad of children being slaughtered that were younger than I was, where the average age is 8 years old. I saw the need for a Democratic Party for all, for the many, not the money. I believe firmly in the need for radical love over hate, democracy over oligarchy. Look, you may know a certain Vermont senator named Bernie Sanders is doing a tour all across the country called the Stop Oligarchy Tour, stretching from rural West Virginia to beautiful Los Angeles. But the problem of oligarchy doesn't just pertain to the folks at the top in economic class. It unfortunately can also prevail in our own politics, in our party. Look, I believe in a state party that gives a damn. One that will call out rich consultants that instead of actually looking at ways to save our state from the fascism that we see, look at ways to be a part of that oligarchy. I believe in a state party that will not allow rich oligarchs like Elon Musk to buy our primary elections, which he has said he will try to do, especially against my own Congressman Maxwell Alejandro Frost. Look, I believe in open primaries. That's actually on the first page of the Democratic Progressive Caucus of Florida's platform. But I believe in open primaries if we do them right. Not at the bidding of the big donor, but rather at the bid of the people. I believe in security and making sure that our party elects and nominates people that speak directly to you. The hearts that you have, the blue hearts that you have. I believe also in additionally making our state party conventions and other things like that be at community halls and union halls, not five-star hotels that abuse their workers. I believe in a state party that cares about you, not just when it's convenient, not just when you want to run for office, not just when they want a donation, and not just when it wants you knocked doors. I believe in a state party that can be the beacon of hope and inspiration our Democrats want, including that nurse who worked during COVID, his wife who took care for her mother and father, and that child who organized while waking up in their car in the hot Florida sun. Democracy over oligarchy, even in our state party. Right now, I believe our caucus that strives to elect people who can fix the state properly is a beacon of hope. When I was first elected in May, we only had 2 chapters, Polk County and Miami-Dade. We didn't even have a chapter of the local progressive caucus in some of the most progressive soil in the state of Florida. When we first were elected, we had less than 80 state dues-paying members statewide. That's a little bit less than half this room. Now we have chapters in Alachua, Marion, Hillsborough, Polk, Orange, Osceola, Seminole, Volusia, Sarasota, Charlotte, and Miami-Dade. Wow. Yes, we have 10 chapters. We have more than doubled our statewide membership. We've hosted statewide calls featuring New York City Comptroller Brad Lander. We've hosted DNC member Allison Minnerly, who made history as a Gen Z Florida DNC member. And we've done so much more. We've gotten out the votes for candidates in special elections in places that usually the institutions will tell you you cannot compete in. Such as in Brevard County, where my friend Vance Aarons almost became the first transgender state lawmaker in the state of Florida. Why? Because she was running a grassroots progressive campaign. And she almost succeeded Randy Not So Fine, who you also unfortunately may know. And usually the traditions will tell you that that seat is not flowable. That's something that we shouldn't compete in. Well, Vance almost got 46% of the vote in an area that Trump got about 56% of the vote last November.
Wow. Yeah.
That is the work that we're doing. And we've gotten out the vote in other places, like Ocoee, places where Democrats don't traditionally walk in. We've done voter registration at concerts, including in downtown Orlando, where for some reason there are a lot of Canadians at concerts. And we have elected people to the Florida Democratic Party state and central committees, bodies that actually do impact party leadership in the state. Our movement has momentum. Our caucus is helping break the mold by presenting a bold vision of what our state party can become. And look, let me say the elephant in the room. Not all Democrats are the same. Unfortunately, last election cycle, we actually elected to the Florida State House the most conservative Democratic freshman class that we've ever seen. And that was mostly because of 2 reasons. They were either unopposed in their primary elections, or they were paid for by billionaires, developers, and other special interests like the FPL. The banes of our society, as most Democrats think. But those people, we can change them. I think that we can change them by continuing to build this movement. So that next legislative session, they aren't voting to change the the name that the Gulf of Mexico was assigned at birth to the Gulf of America, which is something that some of our Democrats did vote for in the Florida State House. So that next time they don't vote to abolish the office of Lieutenant Governor and replace it with Doge. That is something that some of our Florida Democrats did vote for. And also, to make sure that next time they don't vote for restricting your God-given right to sign a ballot initiative in the state, which again, some Florida Democrats did vote for. And they were, once again, the latest freshman class. But let's be clear. We have people in office or running for office that uphold the vision that our state party should have. In New York City, Zohran Mamdani sent shockwaves across the country, running on a platform of affordability, one that drove young people to the polls in a way that we've never seen in an off-year city election before, where we saw one of the best field programs in the whole country's history. Millions of doors knocked in one city. The Democratic Progressive Caucus of Florida hosted a phone banquet for them, alongside various other national partners. When David Hogg became vice chair of the DNC, he had a crazy idea. Maybe we need to demand more from our elected officials instead of just taking the scraps. He threatened the institutional power that our establishment does hold, and the establishment responded. They utilized the smokescreen of electioneering problems as a way to get him out of the DNC. A loss for progressives, a loss for young people, and a loss for Floridians. David was one of our own. He knew the issues Floridians face, and he was here so often, you would think that he still lived in the state of Florida and not DC. But we have people in our own state as well. State Representatives Angie Nixon and Anna V. Escamani, Dr. Anna V. Escamani, stood in opposition to all the corporate greed that we continuously see out of Tallahassee. State Senators Chev Jones and Carlos Smith stand every step of the way for our rights and for basic human decency. We have people like Orange County Commissioner Kelly Semrad, who fought so hard against ICE agreements that I bet James Hoofmeyer probably wished that he could send her alligator Alcatraz. And our bold vision, even though it shouldn't have to be bold, we believe in policies that uphold the idea of a government of the people, for the people, by the people. We believe in removing money in politics. Dark corporate money that has plagued our electoral system for years. Like how Arizona and North Carolina's Democratic parties have done in 2025. In fact, the DNC just passed a resolution to stop dark money in the 2028 presidential primary. And that is something that needs to get brought to the state of Florida. We can bring that to the state of Florida this year. The Democratic Progressive Caucus of Florida is proposing a resolution that will be heard by the end of this year, hopefully, to ban dark money in our primary elections. Something that is needed to prevent people like that conservative freshman class that voted for the Gulf of America and some other crazy stuff to be elected in our primary elections. To have more blue-hearted Democrats in office, not the ones that will just allow for us to continue to be the punching bag of the state. We need to stop having a Democratic Party where a few people can rig the system to just be for the rich, by the rich. Look, when I first introduced myself, I said I was a visionary, but I'm not the only one. Our caucus members are all amazing visionaries. If you'd entertain me really quickly, I want you to close your eyes. Please do, please. I see some eyes open. Think of what is at stake in Florida. Think of the trans people who have to flee the state for their rights. Think of when people need to cross state lines to receive life-saving reproductive health care. Think of your neighbor who's losing their benefits, benefits that they paid into, not benefits that the government just gave them. Now, think of an America where we have the policies of the future. A Green New Deal to actually combat the climate crisis that might lead to my children, my future children, to not have a future. Medicare for all. An end to endless wars, and an end to the craziness we see in Tallahassee and DC. Now, open your eyes. Look at the people next to you. You're the path forward. You're a visionary too. And you're what heals the trauma that we all have. Because let's face it, it is traumatizing to be an American at this moment. It has been traumatizing for too long in this country to not only just be an American, but also a Floridian, where we have to almost just go crazy at night because we see a new crazy bill filed in the Florida State House. We see another racist comment being made in the well of the Florida State Senate. Your people, who should not have to wait for a seat at the table of our party's institution. No, you're people who should be able to flip the fucking table. You're people who may have had to scrap pennies at some point in your life for a bag of Doritos at the corner store. You're people who may have been raised in trailer parks. You're people who may have been inspired by Bernie Sanders and Andrew Gill. And I know you're people who, if you could, would paint back every damn rainbow crosswalk this state has. You're people who may have voted for Kamala Harris. You're people who may have voted for Donald Trump. And God, I actually am so happy you're here, if you did. I'm so happy that you can see a path forward where people actually do care about you, even if you might have not in November cared about us. I'm also glad to see if some folks vote for Bernie Sanders, because you were right all along. Let me close with this. As a certain vice president said, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. But there's an interesting natural phenomenon. Sometimes you can actually see a rainbow while the moon is out. People call them moonbows. And I see them every day through being president of this caucus and traveling statewide and being on the ground. If you're a visionary, cling on to that rainbow. Become a member of the Democratic Progressive Caucus of Florida. Run for office, knock doors, be the change, turn your anger in this moment into passion.
Yes.
That is the path forward. That's how we win. The fight against oligarchs will be difficult in the state that has sold out the most to oligarchs. But we can do it together. We can continue to organize. We can continue to add color to that rainbow, and we can fight like hell for each other.
Yes.
Nobody is coming to save us. So we must save ourselves by being shoulder to shoulder with other Floridians. We can save this state. We can make sure that my generation doesn't have to see the fascism that we see in Tallahassee every single day again. We can make sure that the generation after me doesn't have to wonder if Florida is actually going to be in the water because of climate change. It won't have to see videos of people crying because their mother and their father were deported to El Salvador or other places that they have never ever been to. The torture that this state and this federal administration have granted to all of us, that is something to think about. That's what keeps you up at night. I know it does. Because I've seen so many people talk about it. I've seen people go out and protest with all those signs that y'all have shown off tonight. I know that we can unify at this moment, that we can win, that we can build a progressive state party. Because guess what? Other state became the most progressive state party in the country. Texas. And Texas is fighting like hell against fascism. North Carolina, where we are fighting every single stop of the way. They elected a Gen Z progressive state party chair. And guess what? They held their ground. They held the front line. That's what they're doing in Texas. That's what they're doing in North Carolina. That's what they're doing in California. we can bring that energy to the great state of Florida. Because we are the epicenter of the progressive movement. We elected the first Gen Z member of Congress, Maxwell Alejandro Frost, a proud someone who has fought every single step of the way for a better country. So, you've seen the vision. You've seen that our state party can fight for more, not just scraps. That we have youth organizers like Juan, like Ethan, that are here, that can fight for you. Last month, I know that you had my friend Kat Burgo. Kat's amazing. Round of applause for Kat, please. They're all people who are taking this state back. Let's bring it home. Let's do it together. Thank y'all. So if folks do have questions about the state Caucus, this is your time. Folks have any? Any at all?
Hi, I live in Sumter County. Do you know whether there are any high schools that have chapters? I mean, back in the day, we used to have like Democratic clubs and Republican clubs and music clubs. We used to have all kinds of clubs. Do you know, is there any network of high school students we could tap into?
There are no official chapters of the high school Democrats from what I know, but I could contact their chair, Nikhil, who is the statewide chair, and figure that one out if there are any interest in it.
I'd like to talk about economic resistance. The rallies are, great, but there's things that you can do every day. There are things that you can do every day. But there's an economic blackout, which is no spending, which I know is difficult. You can plan ahead. November 28th through December 5th. And then there's Good Unite Us and the People's Union, USA.com, which you can go to both of those sites and say, okay, should I buy this in Lowe's or should I buy this in Home Depot? See who's supporting the Democratic Party. See who's trying to help us out. And buy from Lowe's instead of Home Depot. It's fairly easy and you don't have to go crazy, but just a little purchase can make a difference. So again, November 28th through December 5th, complete blackout, complete spending blackout. If you can do it, it would be very nice.
Understandably, progressive tends to be mostly a focus on social issues, but there is a major economic problem understanding the difference between what is colloquially referred to as kitchen table economics and federal government funding economics. And I'm, in particular, it's constantly being reflected in, the reference to taxpayer, money at the federal level. And that's, and actually one of the things Trump's doing, even though I don't think he really understands the full aspect of it, he keeps asking for the Federal Reserve to reduce the interest rate, which actually is very progressive because interest rates greater than 0% are actually intrinsically inflationary at the federal level. And I was just curious if you have any significant focus on the economic aspects of progressiveness.
Well, first off, Trump doesn't understand that much, so I'm not shocked he doesn't know too much about the interest rate. But our state caucus has a very extensive platform. It's so many pages, and we're currently trying to update it and modernize it because it has been outdated for a few years. But we do emphasize that economic affordability that everybody wants. Actual utility, publicly owned facilities, for example, like OUC, need to be strengthened. That's something that we do talk about. That campaign of affordability that people like Zoran did run, that's something that the Progressive Caucus fights like hell for. I do think our state caucus is the one that fights the most on that economic populism, that economic prosperity that we do need, because the American dream is unattainable right now for so many people. I think that is why the Progressive Caucus speaks so loudly to young people, because we have an actual message to try to make sure that the American dream is something that can be in arm's reach once again.
Hi, thank you for coming today. I really do appreciate it. I walked through that door today, a 70-year-old woman who watches the news and is so upset. But I come in here with a bunch of like-minded people, and it makes me so happy. But I'll tell you the truth, I've been a liberal Democrat all my life, and I have fought for things like you have. But to see a young person come here today and tell us other young people, you give us hope for the future, keep going.
I'll strengthen on that point as well. Not many other state caucuses can say that they have young Dems that are involved also in their caucus. And so many of our presidents are young. They're young people who are not even involved in the Florida Young Democrats, but see that our message can speak to them. So we have one of the most youthful state caucuses in the whole state, which is great. I always joke with Kat, the president of the Florida Young Dems. I'm actually younger than you, so maybe I'm a young Dem. But that's something that we have seen across the state, is a spike of young people that do the protesting, that do all the social media outreach possible, that want to be involved in this very caucus. And I am so excited to see that the next generation is the most bold and most progressive we've ever seen. So yeah, right there.
Sorry.
Last one.
I was listening closely to the gentleman who emphasized the importance of economic issues, and I wondered, what are your positions, or have you taken positions? What I hear mainly from you youngsters, and justifiably so, is about social issues that we older people are still having trouble adjusting to. Many. And what I think you might be saying about the economic issues is, are you developing policies on where you're going to live when you move out of mom and dad's house, because you know how many kids are moving back in with the parents. What are you going to do about the loans on cars and student? I think I'm not, and maybe I need to dive deeper, I'm not hearing about the issues that you ought to be pounding as leverage to the national organizations, because I don't think we're hearing enough about policy issues from our national Democrats either. They don't have to, there's a low threshold coming from the GOP, so you really don't have anything to argue against. But
yeah, and that is on the concept that I think that we built today, which is that Democrats cannot just say they oppose something. They also have to be for something.
Yeah.
And if you check our website, progressivefl.org, there is our state caucus platform that does delve heavily into economic justice. And if I can summarize it to the best of my ability, it's to actually build affordable, not just attainable, housing in smart growth areas where the environment isn't going to be destroyed, where the swampland that is being built on doesn't sink to where then you have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars in repairs. It's for the strengthening of our public utility companies like OUC in Orlando. There's actually a ballot initiative in Alachua County this year to actually strengthen their public utility company. That is the type of thing that we are in support of. It's actually expanding our $15 minimum wage that was supposed to be a living wage. It isn't anymore, especially in the state of Florida, especially in places like Orlando, Gainesville, Miami. It's actually an unlivable wage now. It is fighting for Medicare for all that will save you money. It's fighting for public transit so that you don't have to just spend your days in your cars paying more and more money on car insurance, on gas prices, etc. So that is the exact type of economic populism that I think our state caucus believes in and is fighting for. I can definitely give you specifics on the website because our platform on that website is very, very large.
I just had something to add to this because something that I realized is back in the 1950s, you were able to buy a house on the minimum wage. And do you know what the buying power, what the minimum wage has to be, the buying power of the minimum wage has to be today to afford to buy a house? $66 an hour. Whoa. To have the same buying power as the minimum wage of the 1950s. And that's why you're seeing young people having to move back in with their parents and not being able to afford homes. And I think that's where the disconnect is where we have older folks seeing the younger generations as maybe being lazy or not being able to live the way they lived, but that's not what it is. It's we're working hard, but we don't have the buying power that maybe you did when you were our age, because that minimum wage for you is not the same as minimum wage for us. We have to find a job that pays us $66 an hour to be able to afford a home today.
And so I think we have to more about economic policy, but one thing that I'll leave you with. Back in the 1980s, there were about 100 billionaires in America. Now, there are 800. Look around yourself. Do you think that America has gotten 8 times richer in the past few years? No. That is something that we need to stop. The oligarchs from just expanding their wealth, while the bottom few get nothing but scraps. Thank you.
On our website, the club's website, we do have an economics section on there that does have the graphs of the Budweiser beer as well as the lettuce. And what's the name of our website? The Villages Democrats, plural. Okay, just click on the economics and the, like I said, the economics will get it. In fact, on the lanyard you have, go ahead and pull out a piece of paper, and that has the lettuce on that one side. That's an example of the graphs. You can take this and share with relatives, use it as a bookmarker, or you can also use it as a vision test. Better or worse, better or worse. On the other side of it is Lorraine's hosting are putting together this on the 18th. It's this Saturday, right? Yeah, 10 o'clock. And we have that also on our website. And I just want to point out that last time we had a picture of David Jolly in a parking lot photograph with him. That was really kind of cool, and we've done a lot of good things from that. But how that came about was somebody who I'm going to mention her name, and if you never hear from me again, it's because she hates to be called out in public. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Jeannie. Jeannie, come on, so, okay, wait for her. She's very shy. Anyway, what happened is that the last meeting that we were at, what transpired is that she was a new member that I met on the preceding Sunday at the new members meeting. She came to this all members meeting that we have now, and instead of coming inside, she took the time to put together all the signs that were possible to have that photograph with David Jolly. Essential in the things that she's done. And unfortunately, she's in the process of moving. I'm going to see if they can stop the gate guard thing, because I cannot tell you how incredibly energy, thoughtful, and gets the job done. I just want to personally say thank you. And with that, We do have some golf carts that are fully decorated. We need some folks, if you go out there, we have some signs to hold. This will be for Barbie's campaign, as well as for the Florida Caucus, folks. So anyway, if we want to go out in the parking lot there, we need about say 20 to 30 people. So thank you very much for making it out today, and we'll look forward to seeing you Saturday.